Ever since he had died, Matt had found himself in the rather enviable position of waking up, knowing that each day was an extra one gifted to him. Now, a man with a smaller mind, a meaner one, might quibble over the fact that his new life had been given to him by the very same gods who had killed him, but he tried to be above such things. In particular, he was rather thankful for the small things now. Comfortable bedding, never having to worry about making rent ever again, food and drink at his beck and call, all of that, and, of course, his role as her bed warmer. Yes, he was very certain that he was the one being used in this particular relationship. He might be the lord of this castle, but in this particular case, she was calling the shots, which helped sidestep all the HR issues. After the news of multiple armies coming for his head one way or the other, yesterday, and a very long planning session and multiple forecasts made on quill and paper, he had been wiped. However, 𝗂𝒂𝒂 had seemed to amp up over the session, which had led to him being here in this situation once again, leaving him, well, awake now, slipping on his pants to sneak out of the bedroom in a walk of shame that really wasn't so shameful, mostly drafty. Downstairs first to grab some food from the kitchen before he headed upstairs to the tower room. He rubbed the back of his neck as he went along and balanced his meal in one hand. Good news was that whoever had built this tower had chosen not to go with the random stair height thing that you sometimes saw in actual castles. As explained to him by an over-enthusiastic guide, this had been a design feature to throw off attackers. Definitely not a flaw and a product of inadequate tools and cost-cutting measures by the builders. Not a chance of that happening, no siree. Upstairs, Matt wandered through the simple circular room at the tallest tower of his stone keep. A series of portraits hung along one side of the room, featuring all of his heroes. It would but require a touch of will to connect him to them. In here, he could actually see what they were doing. Outside, though he might gain the same verbal connection, he couldn't really see anything. Same with the map table, really. The weirdest combination of antique wood and holographic display of a hex-based world. He could manipulate the map with just a touch of his hands on the semi-physical wireframes, or a thought. Right beside was the table he dragged up the stairs with all of his documentation. Reams and reams. They didn't even make reams here, though they did have magically appearing paper, so he figured this world had it better. Of production schedules, over and over again to give him a way to forecast what would be needed. He rummaged through the documents to find what he needed. 4 days for the cavalry reinforcements from Town 4 to arrive, leaving him with just enough time to get another set of woodlings and firecracker flowers into play. They wouldn't be used on the field, though, since he knew he needed at least a few in town. It would not make sense for him to empty the town in case they managed to sneak an army in. In the meantime, he could keep track of the nearest goblin army from here. The biggest question was whether they would start coming or if they would wait a little longer, requiring additional reinforcements just like him. The next question up was whether there were more armies coming in right behind them. While a single massive army would be tough to beat, it might be the wrong move for his opponent to play since Matt was in his place of power. He could gain reinforcements faster than them. Still, if they had a big enough army to shatter his walls, there wasn't much he could do about it. And losing an army because you tried and failed to take a city was a massive problem. It was one of his greatest concerns with 𝗂𝒂𝒂, which was why he was eyeing the numbers he could provide to him as reinforcements. I should just push what harpies we have to aid 𝗂𝒂𝒂 now, Matt grumbled. We talked about that, 𝗂𝒂𝒂 said, causing him to jump. You're here. Awake, Matt said, then winced at his fumbling. 𝗂𝒂𝒂 was grinning, staring at Matt. You're like a little hare, all startled like that. She walked over and smoothed his bedhead down. Even have a little tuft. You know, a man less sure of himself would find all this emasculating. Emasculating. Less of a man. That just made her frown more.